Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday's Talking Sound. Slightly later than normal. Do apologise, but Happy New Year to you all. 2024 is just around the corner, but we are here to reflect back on the whole of 2023. I think it's fair to say. What has been your highlight from this year? It's been a great year in supporting Ipswich Town. Probably one of the best I can certainly remember. And also your thoughts on Ipswich Town 0, QPR 0. Injuries hitting town, a rash of changes. What are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts on Stoke, the first game of 2024? Lots to unpack, lots to cover. So please, please, please do get active in our live chat, as so many of you already done so. There'll be a link about 20, 25, half an hour into the show, halfway point, for you to come on and have your say in your own words. And of course, if you're watching on catch up, what is it I always say? FTA. Comment for the algorithm. Like, subscribe, all of that beautiful business. We've got Mike Baker who says, afternoon all. Those who booed at the game the last game need to give their head a wobble. Still second in the league, massively overachieving, punching above our weight, pathetic behaviour. But Matt says, afternoon all, last show 2023. And in response to Mike Baker, did they boo the players or the ref? As in Matt Sannow's opinion, he was shite. I don't agree with punching above our weight. We are a top half championship team. Rob Holmes, afternoon all. Personally, I thought the atmosphere was awful. Loads of fans arguing around me, calling out players. You'd have thought we were in a relegation scrap, not the top two. It was a little bit subdued on Friday night, wasn't it? Lots of talk about that, about the atmosphere. Gareth Maloney says, probably booing Ladapo, to be fair. How he just casually jogs around like he doesn't have a care in the world, misses two glorious chances, and then not too happy to be taken off in Gareth's opinion. How did you see the game? We want to know. We want to hear you this afternoon. Things that Happy New Year, Gov. For when it gets here, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Thank you for watching us in 2023. Don't forget, we are partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. Are you a sports enthusiast who loves football and cricket, and you want to support the life-saving work while having fun? Let me just repeat that. Want to support the life-saving work while having fun? All the information is on the screen in the description. Bingo cards are £2. There is a free bingo goals. I won £12 off that bingo goals, that free card. But you can obviously play and support the East Anglian Air Ambulance at the same time, which is a fantastic cause to be supporting. Be gamble aware, over 18s only. But please, play Match Bingo, support East Anglian Air Ambulance. Information on the screen, in the chat, QR code. You can scan that there. And away you go. Right, let's get cracking. Joining me this afternoon is the man, the myth, the legend. It's the man from Del Monte, Matthew Phillips. Matthew, I'm all right. How are you?
Good, thanks. Took my mum out. She's been obviously last few months been recovering from a car accident that some of you know about in the summer. So we went out for a New Year's cup of tea. That's how I roll these days. Gone are staying out till midnight, getting on it. It's a lunchtime cuppa.
Absolutely. How are you spending New Year's? Are you doing anything fun for it?
No. I've never been one for going out New Year's, other than when I was much younger, of course.
Of course.
But as I was chatting to someone earlier and said, it used to be all these like good times, didn't it? It gets to midnight, everyone's hugging. It's great to see you. I remember walking back to my mum and dad's, where my mum lives now, about 10 minutes away from Duke's in Chelmsford. Anyone who knows that? So I was strolling back from now, and there were two blokes having a fight because someone had dropped someone's kebab in the road.
Oh no! Thought, Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year, yeah. So within 10 minutes, everyone's gone from high-fiving, have a good one, punch up in the road.
It's overrated. Even the worst pub round here charges to get in. And it's like, you wouldn't go in there normally. Like, now they're charging to get in. None of that. I'm hosting a dinner party, so I'm cooking. But less said about that, the better. To be honest.
What are you cooking up? Did you ever, just for everyone who's regulars, did you ever find the flan case?
No, I did not. No.
Have you been able to get one since Christmas?
Been a flanless Christmas. Oh, it'll be flanless this Christmas. Tin fruit stays in the cupboard. It's been awful, been a nightmare, but there we go. But yeah, no, I'm hosting dinner party. I'm cooking, what am I doing? From scratch, Hunter's chicken, homemade chunky chips. And with some of the guests bring in a starter and a dessert and
all that jazz. I did duck into the shop and buy myself some smoked salmon for tomorrow. Well, that was some scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Right, sounds
right. Get a croissant, half it, toast the croissant in a dry frying pan, bit of smoked salmon, bit of cracked black pepper on your scrambled egg. You'll be well away, mate.
Talking cooking, everybody. New show coming in 24.
Food is my thing, eating and cooking. But we are here, first of all, to discuss, obviously, Ipswich Town nil, QPR nil. Injuries hit town, illness hit town. Streaky says sickness bug was visiting, 5 enforced changes in players being sick in the changing room. Looking at
Yeah.
instead of display, what a year it's been, only 4 league defeats and a promotion. 0-0, lots of changes. Wardhead injured in the warm-up.
Well, ill in the warm-up bowl accounts.
Well, not injured.
He was being sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
We would hope.
I hate sick. Oh, hell,
God,
I can't deal with that. Can't deal with that at all.
Let me tell you, had the pandemic been that rather than really bad flu, I'd have been in a bunker somewhere underground.
Yeah, no, I can't deal with sick. No, it's only no, not for me, not for me. But what were your thoughts on Friday night?
The conversation has changed from foods and outlets.
Yeah, I know we go everywhere on this platform, you know that. But what were your thoughts on Friday night then?
Well, one of disappointment, obviously. Look, we'd had a really good run up to the game. We'd met everyone in the pub, the Talking Town, catch up and everything. We'll come to that later. So that, and then there was surprising. It was surprising when the team dropped. I'm right in thinking it's 8 changes, right?
Yes,
I know it was 7. And I think with Broadhead was 8. So obviously
big,
on the
big
show,
changes.
Oh, massive! I mean, look, it had the feel and look of a Carabao Cup game, didn't it? You know, you're on good league form. We're going to bring in some fringe. Yeah,
I thought tempo was pre-season, atmosphere was pre-season. I thought it was all just a feel of a pre-season game, if anything.
Yeah, it did that. Yeah, maybe people were nervous about the team selection, but look, Kieran's had to play the hand he's been given now. I mean, luckily we've still got good enough players to compete against the QPR side that are struggling in the Championship. But by the way, aren't rubbish.
No,
ain't Forest Green Rovers, everybody. Queen's Park Rangers. And who've had some decent results up until recently with the new gaffer that's come in now. I think maybe the enforced 8 changes, they did as best as they could do. There was certainly no shortage of effort. But of course, as Stuart Watson alluded to in East Anglia, we've all got this. Well, we've seen it before. Everyone just thinks people are going to rock up at Portman Road and we'll just blow them away, which is a huge tide change from playing in League One and losing to Lincoln 1-0. Now we're in a league higher and everyone seems to think QPR are just going to come and roll over. Now, I personally thought with a full strength team, look, no one could foresee 8 changes, that we would probably blow them away like we did Millwall. But as soon as the team comes in and you see Don Ball, with Don Ball is in rather than Jack Taylor.
Big surprise.
Maybe come to that. Yeah, big surprise. You know, 2 different fullbacks, Cameron Humphreys coming in at left back, etc., etc. Everyone was at the game, saw the game, they know what we're talking about. Suddenly, our impact players aren't there anymore. And, I don't think we actually played, watching the highlights back, I actually don't think we played as badly as what people probably remember from the game. It's just that everyone now goes there with such high expectations. You get 0-0 and it feels like a defeat. I think, look, as we head into the Stoke game tomorrow and then Sunderland follow on the 13th, I think probably with what's going on in the camp and before we get new signings in and the tear that Southampton are on right now, and fair play to them, they've broken a 73-year-old club record just to get within 3 points of us.
Got fortunate though with their goal that was ruled offside by Barley Mumba.
Yeah. Well, look,
officials, man.
It happens in games.
I don't know how he's giving it offside though. It's a terrible call.
The officials, just got to go with it. We've had some with go for us and some have gone against us. The match officials didn't give it, so we've just got to roll with it. It's annoying, but I think Southampton are probably going to catch us up, and I think we'll probably be in third at some point in January. That is not bad news, by the way, everybody. Maybe it would just give us a little chance to not be in the line of sight for Southampton and Leeds. Just pull back a little bit, reset. Hopefully, get some new signings will come in, and then we can go again. Because we've seen what this team can do when everyone's on song, fit. Look, no worries about that. We're probably going to be top 3 for the entire season. Is what I'm going to say right now. Leeds are too inconsistent to catch us, and I think West Bromwich Albion are too far behind, and also don't seem to score a lot of goals. I just hope we can get back to the early season form that's given us such a platform to be contenders going into the second half of the season. We will be contenders, everybody. I think we've got to forget about Leicester now. I think the result the other night probably means Leicester are pretty much, they'd have to fall off a cliff to lose the title now. And so, yeah, they're a good team. I watched Ben Bloom's channel the other night, and he said this is the best passing team we've had at Portman Road in God knows how many years.
And he wasn't wrong. No,
Yeah.
and he wasn't wrong. Yeah. Chris says we started this Chris Boyd says we started this toughest run of games of the season, 10 points ahead of Leeds. We're still 9 ahead of them. Southampton are flying, but we have points on the board. And that's true. You know, it's true.
We 53?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Luton finished third last season, everyone, with 80 points. We only need 27 points to match a team that's now in the Premier League. I think it's probably going to take more due to the competition around us. But absolutely, we've had such a great first half of the season and a great 2023 at Portman Road that and on the road in the Championship, by the way, that it's given us a great foundation to push on. We've, you know, even if we do drop to third, and we did that in League One, by the way, so don't be surprised if we do it in the Championship. You know, it will give us a chance to go. Well, I hate this as well, but to go again. We're hopefully with new players in the team too.
Yeah, you've got to hope Southampton, obviously, on this epic run, this historic run. How much longer can they carry that on for?
Sheffield did do it, and then blew up, didn't they? Remember the game they lost at Barnsley 4-2? Different beast this, but yeah, could happen.
But you could argue they're reaching boiling point at the wrong time of the season, you know, in terms of their reach. Can they sustain that for a longer period of time in the second half? Who knows? Time will tell. You're still 3 points ahead. You're still in a great position. You've just had a word there. You're contenders. And I could have been a contender. No one would have thought we'd be contenders. So you can't be too disappointed. But looking at the QPR game, I was disappointed, as I'm sure many were, because I saw that game in the fixture list as a reset game, as a game of, right, you've had Leeds, you've had Norwich, form goes out the window, you've had Leicester, you've had Watford, who are an up and down team, but can be a very good team, as we saw on when we played them on their game. QPR and Stoke, almost the 2 reset games. Get yourself 6 points, 4 points there, whatever. Reset yourself, and then go into January with whatever cushion you have left. So it was really disappointing to have those rash of changes, have those injuries, have those sicknesses for that game particularly. I mean, you know, we probably could have played with the under 18s against Leeds and had the same result. I mean, it wasn't a great day, that game, and it's just the way it goes. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, as it were. But overall, I don't think anybody let anybody down. We'll look at the striking options. Caden Jackson, Freddie Ladapo, George Hurst obviously out for a period of time. How much we don't know.
And Big Gerrard.
Yes, who I thought he was very promising in his brief cameo appearance. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on those front two? Because obviously Ladapo has that great chance, should score. I said on the match reaction show.
So which one is the great chance? Because if you go on to SofaScore, it says he misses one big opportunity, which is and Ipswich had one big opportunity in the game. Is everyone thinking it's the first chance when he's through down the middle, or the one where he puts it through Begovic's legs and it balloons over the bar?
That one for me. That one's got a George Hurst goal all over it, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. Look, I driving back with Mike, and we were just obviously discussing the game, and we listened to you. We stuck it on the stereo and listened to you and Curtis, the little 20-minute show you did. Yeah, we both felt really that he should have scored both of them. But watching back, you know, I think it's Salter Clark on the first one, the number 6 for QPR. I think that's his name. He actually cut it as soon as Freddie's off and running. It's a bit of a slow turn from Freddie, to be fair. As soon as he's off and running, and remember, he's very much square onto the goal, and he's running towards the D. He's not got an angle to cut in or anything. He's actually having to race straight towards the goal. I think that Salter Clark actually cuts him down very quickly. Hence the reason why he has to do that 360, which was very frustrating watching in real time. But now I can see, I can see why he had to do that. And unless you're trying to take it first time and lob the keeper, I'd have to see whether the angle was there for him to do it. He was very unlucky with the second one. I mean, how often do you see someone through on goal, you hit it through the keeper's legs? Very rarely would it balloon against the thigh. It's gone through his legs, ballooned inside his leg, and ballooned over the goal. I do think he got it on target. I would say more often than not, you're probably going to score that. He'll be disappointed. But it annoys me that everyone now thinks he's rubbish. I mean, look, he scored 17 goals for us last season in the league below. Now everyone thinks he's no bleeding good. I can see why you would say that in terms of his pressing sometimes isn't on point as much as Hurst, etc. And we've said, look, even Alex Maffey come on this show and said, look, they're two very different players. But Alex likes Ladapo, thinks he's a decent player. He knows more about scoring goals in his little toe than I do in my entire body. So I will go with what Alex Maffey says. But certainly I feel like we're probably judging Freddie on that one up front, when probably he's always played in a 2. And he's probably more comfortable in that.
Yeah, he probably is.
Okay.
And then obviously Caden Jackson comes on, and I love me some Caden Jackson. I think he's a player that he's got a great character in the dressing room. Evidently,
Yeah.
he runs and his pace is there. But as I said the other week, I think we're at a point now with not just KJ, some other players as well, where the club's development has been so fast that you're now way past sort of where their level is.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. The success train stops for nobody. You're right. It's kind of it is bypassing them a little bit. Caden's had a great career at Ipswich. When you consider he was a Hurst signing, so coming from what, Accrington, Stanley? Coming from there with a bit of a reputation. Remember his break into the game wasn't he? Didn't he win a Facebook competition to get a deal at Swindon Supermarine?
Yeah.
Now he's playing for Ipswich Town. That is success. That's a success story, if ever I saw one. So he's had a great career. Ipswich, never been loaned out, has he? I mean, there was talk about him maybe moving away, becoming the same window as Janoy, and Janoy got loaned out, didn't he, eventually? Having come back and had a bit of a renaissance with us. And now he's not in the first team picture anymore, despite having a good couple of seasons with us in League One. So I think Caden's done brilliantly to be in and around the squad still, and still to be an Ipswich Town player, considering he signed going into his 6th year here. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Must be one of our longest serving players, and God knows how long.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, is he good? Is he good enough in the games where you're 0-0 with QPR and you're bringing somebody on, and can he get us a goal? You're asking a lot from old big Gerard Buono. I think that's how you say it.
We also don't play to his strengths, because obviously his strength is in behind.
Merchant, right?
Yeah. Where we ask our strikers to play with their feet back to goal a lot more.
Yes. For me, Caden and Norwood was the best combination, because you had Norwood as you kind of like your more stocky, solid number 9, so to speak, and then putting him through to Caden. I remember the first year we done this show. Was it the COVID one? The COVID year. Yeah. I think we said he probably would have been our player of the year. I think he led on goals. Caden. I think he led on assists. All right.
It was certainly a time when Lambert and League One had, Norwood and Jackson as a front two, and they were very good. Then the team sort of dropped off, as we all know. But that original run was probably built off the back of them two. Yeah. But that was League One. That was them. We have now progressed so far as a football club that you're looking at the players now to bring in a starter level that are going to take you to the next level. Which the next level now isn't a break into the playoff.
No.
It's a break into the Premier League.
Yeah. And you see this all the time. Look, Manchester City, who would be their star striker? Sean Gota. Great for them at that particular time. Now they got the best striker, one of the best strikers ever played the game. Haaland. It's the evolution of this team, isn't it? And hopefully we're seeing the evolution of Ipswich Town from players that were bought in 2018 by Paul Hurst. And then we're moving hopefully into a really huge window that will open tomorrow. Where we could, we potentially could be spending millions, right? If we're serious about getting into the Premier League, and the financial fair play allows it, and the budget that Ashton and Co. O'Leary have put together allows it, we're going to be bringing in players that are going to compete for the top 2. Fingers crossed, touch wood. It's the evolution of the club. Get used to it. It's happening, and like you say, it's happening very, very quickly.
And if you've got a plan, and obviously they have got a plan at the football club, it's well and truly exceeded the plan. You've jumped 2 or 3 pages, which is phenomenal as a fan to watch, be part of, and phenomenal for the football club. It's
why we're having great times. It's why this show's been such a buzz. It's why we've had, we've had 6,500 people watching our Leeds show, all that kind of thing. We're playing decent sides with global fan bases. People are jumping on board and watching all Ipswich Town podcasts, not just ours, and are invested in it. We had Craig's little son out with us, Jake, on the Friday, and he's got all the kit on. He's got the players' names and the shirts and all that. You weren't seeing that under the Marcus Evans era. No one was invested in any of the players. And kids, the last place kids wanted to go to was watch bloody Mick McCarthy ball. So, we're in such a fantastic place. I personally thought McKenna would do all right in the Championship, would be probably top half, something of that ilk. But, we've been crushing it all season.
Absolutely. Philip says Ladapo's used to playing anymore. And that's because of McKenna's decision of playing Hurst. Give him some more game time and he'll begin to be a star again, but he will play Hurst. ITFC Blue Forever says, I know it's not as easy as this, but I think we need to be aiming for Premier League standard players. Seen a lot talk about Bishop. Can he do a job now? But we need players who'll be first. Yeah, Colby Bishop for me, I'm not buying that. I wouldn't.
Plus, you're right, you're Portsmouth CEO. You're top of the League One with your top scorer with 12 goals or whatever. You ain't selling him to and lose your chance of promotion. Blooming fans will be at Fratton Park battering the gate now. Ain't going to happen.
Is he an upgrade on what we've got? Is it, by head and
maybe.
shoulders?
Well, I mean, look,
At
he could
this
be.
level, Matt, at this level?
It's a risk. You don't know, because I don't think he's played Championship football before. I might be wrong there. Pete, tell me in the comments if I am. Risk? Can he step up? Don't know. I think what you're really looking at is either players that have done it at this level or dropping down from the Premier League is what is probably what you're looking at. It would be a risk to put all your eggs in one basket on Colby Bishop. But he won't sign here anyway, so I think the conversation's redundant, quite frankly.
Lee Bayliss, we played right into QPR's hands with slow possession football. Jackson's okay running behind, but not much more. Harps, what the youngsters played a better shift, put a better shift in than Adapo. Matt Wingard from day one. I've never had any confidence or seen any in Jackson. George says Stansfield and Danilo from United for George. Streaky says Amari tried to switch back to his left too much, in my opinion. More damage going to the byline for Streaky.
He was unlucky. Look, everyone's saying that Amari didn't have a great game. He was very unlucky, and Begovic had to make a good save from him. Yeah, it's the fine lines of football, isn't it? If Amari scores, and we win 1-0, he's the hero. But because no one liked the performance, and I think it was right. He was slow and disjointed when you've made 8 changes, and we talk about the partnership. Didn't see much of a partnership between Williams and Amari. Not played with each other, for across the 90 minutes for a long time. Yeah, there's just fine lines, isn't it? Amari scores, hero. Begovic tips it over the bar for a corner. He didn't have a good game.
Yeah,
fickle, man.
It's the fine line of football, supporting, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stephen Parry says Bishop for me has Pigott vibes in League One, and Harp says we need to be aiming higher than Bishop. Midfield 2. I expected I was hoping for Jack Taylor.
Yes.
Well, we got Disco Dom and Massimo Luongo midfield.
Now I do like Dom Ball. Again, he fits into that character. Is probably League One his ceiling? Don't know. I think he did all right, actually. There was a couple of good passes he put out to Cameron on the left and out to Amari. I felt like he passed backwards a lot and was probably, but maybe that's what McKenna was saying. Once you get the ball, give it to Matt, and he'll play the Morsey role and start trying to get things rolling. So I might be judging him harshly on what I thought he should be doing when McKenna's actually given him instructions. But again, why didn't Jack Taylor play it from the start? Because he comes on as a substitute. Did he not feel well in the dressing room? Who knows? Again, this comes down to my big bugbear. Did the media ask McKenna after the match? Okay, Kieran, enforced changes. What was the thinking about Dom over Jack Taylor? I'd love to know. Because Jack Taylor gives you a goal, doesn't he? We've seen it. Can shoot from distance. We don't really know a lot what Dom Ball can do because he's had such a stop-start career at Pullman Road, and he sort of now falls into the utility man option, doesn't he?
But did he play midfield at all in pre-season even? Like, I'm sure at pre-season he was playing predominantly at right back.
We thought, at one point, we all thought in the pub, I think it was Colin Rich's mate, Matt Taylor, had texted the lads. I said, what's going to happen here? Is it going to be Cameron in the midfield? Will it be Dom at right and right back and Brandon Williams at left back? I mean, that could have been that could have been the way to go. He's now a utility player, Dom, and whilst we stay in the Championship, I think he'll probably, is this the last year of his contract?
I think so.
If he's probably one that can go back into League One, I think, and have a really good career, end of career with somebody, and good luck to him. But he done a job for us the other night. Sometimes we're judging players on what we think they should be doing. When
not probably for me.
McKenna said, just give the ball to Luongo.
Yeah, not for
what
me.
The reality was.
I didn't see much out of ball to give me,
No, I would agree with that, and I would like to have seen Taylor play. I just think the fact that you're in that game and it's 0-0 and chances are few and far to come between, and our XG was well below what it's been normally. I think it was 0.
Everything was. QPR had more of the ball. I think our XG was not put too much in, but it's quite interesting when you look at these stats. And normally we're about 2 point something every game at Pullman Road, and we were 0.6. Shows you the creativity of our impact players wasn't there. So then what are you thinking? Right, we can't do the normal passing game that's going to lead to a cross in the box and a Hurst and the depot head or whatever it might be. So then you trail up from distance, and Jack Taylor is that option for you. But I was surprised he didn't get more minutes, to be honest. But obviously we don't know any mitigating factors like illness, a slight knock, anything like that. But I was very surprised, and I just when he came on, we picked up. I thought that we looked a little bit better with a couple of the changes. When Jack Taylor came on predominantly,
there was no shortage of effort, was there? I mean, in terms of trying to get the ball forward. I mean, we'll come to Cameron in a minute. I mean, he puts a lovely ball in, doesn't he? He was trying to get his best to get the crosses in. Harness has a chance at Begovic. Bloody Begovic, man. He was the way he was on fire. I think got 8 out of 10 in one of the papers, and rightly so. He played very well.
He did well. He did really well. Harp says Dom's a safe choice. Taylor's the offensive option. I'd rather Taylor start, but the guy I think McKenna knows best 100%. ITFC says always hard to get players in Jan. It's predominantly a seller's window, but in McKenna we trust. Chris Boyd last Jan.
If you turn up with a suitcase load of cash to someone that needs it, as you said, you have to pay a little bit above the odds. Look, we're going to be spending. We're going to be spending a few million, is what I've been told. So watch this space. It opens tomorrow. We'll soon find out.
We will soon find out. Chris Boyd last January, the moves are made with an eye on being in the Championship this year. Aston will have an eye on the Premier League to avoid the price hikes of being a promoted team in the summer. Yeah, very good point. ITFC Fan would like.
We didn't pay that much for Broadhead either, Martin. Do you remember we were surprised when they said 1.5? Broadhead went for 1.5, and Ellis Sims from the same club goes for what Rich says is something like 3 to 4 with huge amounts of add-ons. Snip. Yeah. Broadhead was a snip. So Ellis really very good at negotiating. Very good.
ITFC Blue would like Whittaker. That won't happen. I'd like Whittaker as well. And you never know with Plymouth now under a new manager. You don't know if he wants the funds to bring in 2 or 3 players. You never know with a new club.
How much do you want? How much do you want for Whittaker? Don't forget, Jordan Rose left this club when Lee Clark said, "How much do you want for Rhodes?" And they gave him a little figure, and they said, "We'll pay it." That's how he ended up going. So you never know. You never know.
But yeah, and we are now a great attraction to players.
Absolutely, it could be in the Premier League, right?
Yeah. You're a team that at the very least should be in the playoffs.
We'll be in the playoffs. I mean, we'd have to be like bottom 3 form, sir.
Yeah.
So there you go. The playoffs now.
So if you're a player at any club not inside the top 6,
that's
you're weighing that up. You're 3 games away potentially into the season from the Premier League. You're can I make this team instantly better to keep the form running that we're going to win the top 2? Like, there's so much of a draw other than and it's better in a way because much better obviously because previously windows Ashton and Co were selling visions, journeys, plans.
Yes.
Now you're selling the reality. The house is no longer a blueprint. The house is built. We need a few extra touches to make it sellable, and that's so much easier as a CEO, I'm sure, than it is we have the vision. Buy into it.
The proof is in the pudding. You're absolutely right. We can't really sit as we sit here on New Year's Eve. 2nd, could be 3rd tomorrow. We'll wait and see. But worst case scenario, going to be 3rd. Yeah, that's a huge thing to sell. Look, Morgan Whittaker ain't going to play in the Premier League for Plymouth Argyle. Who knows? Schumacher might have been the pull that got him there in the first place. Who knows? Stoke might try and buy him. Who knows? So, I think, there's lots of options for us. It's whether or not we're prepared to pay the fees that clubs that need the money will ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll go to Humphreys and then we'll drop a link very shortly. How did you see the young man's performance on Friday night?
I thought he was brilliant. For someone so young, where is Humphreys? 20? Is he 20?
I'm not sure. I'll find out.
Yeah, he was man of the match for me. And I know Rich thought so. And I know Colin also said the same. I mean, I've said it before, haven't I? The first interview I ever saw with him, and Arthur thought this is the new Matt Holland here. 20. Sensible kid on the periphery of the squad, played more games than what was expected last season. I thought he was great. I bet you ask any QPR fan to say, where do you think that kid normally plays? They would have thought he was just a normal left back. I thought he was brilliant. Such a mature head. If he doesn't go on to captain Ipswich Town, I will be majorly surprised. That is the new Matt Holland right there for me. The only reason he wouldn't captain Ipswich Town is because someone from the Premier League would come along, like what happened with Cresswell, and whisk him off to the Prem with a bigger club. He's come through our academy. I can't speak highly enough of him. I think he's brilliant, and it took him a while to get into the game. He done great. Really impressed.
He needs game time. He needs to go out on loan. He needs to go and play meaningful football.
I'd love him to go on loan back into League One with like an Oxford or someone, a team that's probably trying to, Liam Manning was there and then Des Buckingham's gone there. We'll try and play football. Not like Bagger had to go to Gillingham where he's struggling at the foot of the table trying to stop going relegated internationally.
Even that's meaningful games that mean a hell of a lot to fans, the club, and it's much better, in my opinion, than the under-21 level, the under-23, the development squad.
Yeah.
Where,
but by the same token, Martin, if we sit here a week ago, who knew we'd have been making 8 changes in the team for the QPR game? So if the sickness bug continues or an injury happens, God forbid, Humphreys could well be playing some games, and I would have full faith in him.
You say that, but he played left back. Now, I might be wrong. I don't always keep an eye on the injuries as much as I should. JD's fit, so
I don't know. Yeah, he was. I mean, look, Donatian. I think when Donatian signed for us from Accrington, I'm pretty certain he'd been playing left back and then played.
You could play Williams at left back, JD at right back.
Yeah, unless he has got a knock, of course. We don't know.
Yeah,
but I mean, look,
JD
has disappeared sadly for him out of the picture. But look, we saw Cameron come on against Birmingham, didn't we? And play there. And McKenna said in that game that he had no issues putting him in a variety of positions. Just shows you how good he is. I mean, it gives you again, the energy of tracking back. I'm sure he was bloody knackered, but he's blue and white through and through him. I love it.
At a time though when managers seemingly are using this phrase more and more, time on task, he needs time on task.
Time on task.
But he does. He needs time on task. You're not getting time on task sat on the bench watching. You're not getting time on task in the development squad. Now, I like where this player is going to be. I think he's going to be a very good player. But I would just like to get in meaningful minutes.
Yeah, you'd have to be. I mean, look, Sharon's got it on point here. I think McKenna wants to coach Humphreys himself. I think they probably see him as such an asset, such a diamond. Was he the lad that Kieran Dyer said he's like the best midfielder I've ever seen coming through at Ipswich Town or something? I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty certain Kieran Dyer.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
I think it was. I think he was all in on him. So you've really got to pick the club carefully, haven't you? You like I say, like an Oxford, where I know they want to play really good football. They've probably been looking at us and thinking, that's a team we can try and emulate. Certainly, they would try. You got that with Manning. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. But he could be a catalyst for us. You just don't know, do you?
You do not know in football. Great comment from Daniel. I think he's probably nailed it spot on here. Felt Humphreys was being safe in the first half on Tuesday. Probably told at half time to express himself more. He was much more dynamic in the second half. Yes. Decent performance from him. I think Daniel's nailed it there. Great comment, Daniel. Because I think in the first half, he rarely crossed the halfway line. And a little bit of JD about him. Never really crossed the halfway line. Yeah. And then once he got over it in the second half, he was really... Those balls in the box were great.
He could probably see, couldn't he, from the performance, it was kind of disjointed, not the same kind of flow. Same opportunities weren't being made for him that you would normally find for Davis. That kind of marauding. We've said it on here before, playing almost left wing. So he was a lot more conservative, having to slot into that. But yeah, I think Daniel hits the nail on the head there. Yeah, McKenna probably said, "Get forward. We want 3 points."
Yeah, great point. Go and get involved. And in the midfield too. I think Curtis on the match reaction showed a great point in terms of did we need 2 holding midfield players at home to QPR? But that's the way it was. That's the way it went. 0-0. I want to come to. I'm just going to drop a link now for everybody to come on then have your say in your own words. It's your football club, so come and express yourself. But before I do, I just want to sort of mention the 22-minute round of applause for our friend Ben. Yeah, Matt, do you want to take over there for a minute?
Yeah. Yes. When the news broke about Ben on the Thursday, and that just wrote the day off for me. I just could not stop thinking about that poor lad. And someone who had been with us on Talking Town almost from day one, I would say. Remember we've done the famous 20 views? Nick Muller was in there. I'm pretty certain Ben was either in there or a week later.
He was, yeah.
He was part of that, and he was part of that online setup. And of course, then we go back, don't we, after the pandemic to meet everyone, and then we get to meet him and his good friend Josh and all that. And then, he was just invested in what we was doing. And, he used to say, I can't wait till Saturday to meet up at the statue of my Talking Town family, which was wonderful, and wonderful for me as well, because, I've mentioned it a few times on here, but my dad died in 2019 and I carried on going to the game. So I was going on my own. And then, of course, I meet you and Rich Martin, and then, which was brilliant for me. Yeah. And then suddenly you've got this extended fan base of everyone, and we've got Lee Brown coming in, and we've got Colin, we've got Josh, and we've got Ben, and we've got Mike the Fishman, and Lewis,
Aidy Croucher, and Phil Blundell, and Stephen Parry, and so it's a big community, big family.
I know that so many people said that Talking Town was a real thing for them in lockdown and helped them get through it, which is absolutely wonderful. But for my own personal thing, look, Talking Town helped me get through the lockdown. But for my own personal thing, just meeting up with everybody on a match day rather than just going on my own was brilliant. And Ben was integral to that. So I just look, He come on the show, didn't he, before the Norwich game from hospital, which says everything about him. Here we are counting down to the derby, and he comes on from the hospital, didn't look well, but wanted to be part of the conversation. And, you know, that just says everything about him. And I'm just so pleased that, you know, Ashton and co, it sounds disrespectful, I just call him Ashton, Mark Ashton and co, sorted out that director's box tickets for him and his family. Went to go to training. The great video where he's meeting the players in reception. I mean, just that would have meant the world to him, wouldn't it? And he's what turned out to be his last few days. We will miss that boy terribly, let me tell you.
I certainly will be missing him.
I still can't believe it, really. I reached out to his mum, put on a message on Facebook, and I reached out to her to say, you know, what an integral part of our community. I mean, it's just kind of like part of it. You get to the statue. There you were setting up. Ben was there. Sometimes he had his mask on, didn't he? Not always, because he'd already got over it once, hadn't he? And we, you know, that's the cruelty of it. We thought he would get better. And, you know, Colin did a great speech for Ben, everybody, in the Thomas Wolsey. So we all met up there on the Friday night. So we all got there about 5-ish. Phil had got some seats upstairs, and Colin did a fantastic speech, got up in front of everybody in there. And, you know, there was not really a dry eye in the house, quite frankly. And he said a wonderful line. He said, "This will live with me forever." He said, "I just know that Bobby and the Beat will be waiting for Ben when he gets up, when he was getting up there." And I just thought that was a wonderful thing. And I do hope that's what happened.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful line. And I've heard a lot about that speech from Colin. So, you know,
tremendous.
Yeah, I'm someone who speaks on the internet without a script. I said this on the Match Reaction show. I found words very difficult for the last 3 days, and I find myself tripping over my own tongue here again. But from a personal point of view, I'll miss him terribly. I never set out to do this platform or show and make friends. It was just a way of talking about football and talking about our club. But through this platform, I made a really good friend in Ben.
Yeah.
He was always there when you know with an opinion, with a smile, and with support. And when you do this show, you do get added complications that you don't expect. Just providing a free show that people can or cannot watch.
Yeah.
But whenever anything would happen, he was always the first one there saying, "All right, Gov, is there anything I can do?"
Helped us with the production, didn't he? You helped us with the production, holding the camera stuff. He'd come on with little cameo. Him and Josh would come on with little cameo appearance and stuff, wouldn't they? Yeah, absolutely. I really wanted to go and see him in the hospital. I'd said to you, didn't I? That kind of gap between Christmas or Boxing Day through to like now, really. I was planning maybe of going up to Ipswich Hospital. I think which was to see him. But I will make every effort I can, if appropriate, to go to his funeral.
Absolutely, yeah, as will I. And there is a Just Giving page that the family have set up that is raising funds for the Somersham ward. The link is in the chat, courtesy of Matt Stannard. So thank you ever so much for putting that in the chat, Matt. So if you can, please do drop a few pounds into that Just Giving account. And there is also Football for Brains 21. Now, I've mentioned these on our show previously. It's a quiz book. And Football for Brains have said, I'm just going to read their tweet out. Let's make more money for Ben's cause. My football quiz book, Football for Brains, is available still on eBay. Loads of Ipswich Town questions, and it's a must for any football fan. And they will donate £1 from sales until the end of January 2024. So there's also another way of dropping a few pounds, if you can. Obviously, after Christmas, you know, it's not the easiest time in terms of the wallets. So spare a thought, spare a prayer. For the family, and if you can, please do donate.
The wonderful thing about Talking Town, Martin, of course, is we've got our archive, so you can go back and watch Ben's appearances that he had on here forever. So he'll always be part of our family, of course, and he'll always be sitting in our archive with his great opinions. You know,
absolutely, yeah. Young Pep Guardiola, as I used to like to call him.
Yeah, the Benmore Derby. Do you remember
the Benmore Derby? Yeah, Cambridge. Yeah. Oh.
Benmore Derby, yes, you did used to call him Young Pep, didn't you? Well, I mean, look, I think it's Town Rangers have reached out on some social media and said he used to go and do some coaching with them and all that kind of thing. But look, these kind of things, they kind of transcend rivalries, don't they? I know Norwich from their official account said, "Rest in peace, Ben." That's just classy from them. A lot of their supporters have. Just wonderful. Very sad, but the tributes have been wonderful. The 22nd minute thing in the stadium was wonderful, as it was for Peter Taylor. That came up on the 65th minute.
Yes, it did. Yeah. And our
yeah.
thoughts go to the family with the medical incident at halftime as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, shift. Obviously, we are live after Stoke on tomorrow, so do join us for the match reaction on there. But QPR 0, Ipswich Town 0, Stoke tomorrow. January window upcoming. Lots of things to talk about. Let's get Stephen Parry in first of all. Stephen, welcome in. Where are you at? Not in terms of where are you at now, in terms of your physical being, as in where are you at in terms of your town support? You confident? Are we contenders, as Matt says? Tell us how you're feeling. We've not seen you in a while.
Yeah, well, Christmas was a bit hectic, and then, I don't know, with everything that was going on, I thought, well, there's more to life than ranting and raving sometimes on football, so I thought I'd spend a bit more time with the wife, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then she told me to bag her off, so I thought, well, we'll come back. But it was like, no, I'm in a good place, to be honest. I know there was a lot of people saying after the match that it wasn't a very good performance. We didn't play very well, but I looked at the team and I thought, well, it's a very weak team. It's a very we've lost our midfield general, we've lost all our creative spark. What did we expect? If that was the team that people were saying, no one would have picked that team. If that was the team that we were going to be told we were going to play, what did you expect? What did anybody really expect? And to be honest, I think 0-0 was a point gained, because we could quite easily have lost with that team. I do look at it and I think sometimes we're probably a year, maybe 2 years ahead of the owner's plans. And whether you like it or not, there's going to be players here when you're like a year or two ahead of the owner's plans who are still League One players. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. You can't come out of League One and then suddenly have championship ready squad. You're going to have players who aren't championship ready. And we've said all season our depth is just not there. We know it's not there. Yeah, we can manage when it's just 1 or 2, but when it's 5 or 6, that's when you're going to see a struggle. And I do see tomorrow being a struggle. I don't think that's a given. I know Sam will be back, and I think that'll be a huge boost, because I think we missed him massively against QPR. Just keeping everybody going, everybody focused. I think Don Ball tried to do that a bit. I think that's the reason why he was there, but he's not he's not Sam Morsey. And I think we lost something with him not playing. I don't think we lost as much on the left with Cameron playing, because I think once he started going forward, I thought you didn't notice much difference between him and Davis. The balls were still coming in. The runs were still being made. I think Fred tried. I just don't think he's as good as George Hurst, which we already knew. That wasn't a shock. I don't think, when you're losing Burns, when you're losing Broadhead, that's your width gone as well, and some creativity gone. There was a lot of, that's not a team we would have picked, and that's not a team the club would have picked. We got a point out of it. If you look at it, we lost to Leeds, and in the last 3 games, they've gained 1 point on us. I can say that. We were talking about the end of November, beginning of December. Where would we be? Yeah. Come beginning of January. Well, we're second place, 3 points ahead of Southampton. I still think Southampton can be got at. Yeah, they've had a good run, but they've also had some luck as well along the way. And they were lucky to win that game against Plymouth. They can be got at. You've got to remember, Southampton's got to play Leeds again. Southampton's got to play Leicester again. They've got to play us again. And I think most of them games they've got to play away. So there are points to be gained against those teams. I don't think Leicester were all that great, if you want my opinion. When we played them the other day, they didn't threaten us as much as I thought they would do. They've got most of their players with, most of their creative players are going to be going. You're talking Daka will be gone, Iniacho will be gone, and Didi will be gone, Fatawu will be gone. That's most of their goals and assists straight away. Yeah, there's still a quality outfit, but can they replace those? You're replacing people like that with Tom Cannon.
Right,
Doyle, who's not played a lot. You know, Vardy, who's not played a lot and hasn't been doing a lot when he has played. You know, so that's a huge drop off. That's like George Hurst to Freddie Ladapo in comparison. You know, so if we're moaning about that, well, Leicester's got that to come for the next month. You know, so there's lots of movement to be played. You know, and I still think that we will get some players in. Yeah, I can see us getting at least 2 players within the next 10 days. Get this one out of the way. Yeah, play whoever we can, do as well as we can. We know then we don't have a game for 2 weeks because they're FA Cup. So we've got a nice long break to get players in, get players fit, and then we have a crack at it. And then we go at it again. And as Matt said, I think we're pretty much nailed on certainties for the playoffs, which for me, that's higher than my expectations for the season already. So I'm more than happy with that. But you never know. Things can happen. Things in football can happen very fun. You know, can be strange. You know, it could be all we need to do is go on another good run, yeah, and then someone drops a few points, and then we're back in the chase again. We might drop down to 3rd. We may not. If we do, we can still get back in there. You know, but I think there's a lot to look forward to, a lot to be positive about, and I think it was never had to be this season. You know, next season will be an easier season. The teams coming down will not be the same quality as the teams that came down last year. You know, you're not getting Leicester, Leeds, and Southampton coming down from the Premier League. You're going to get Burnley, probably Sheffield United, and Luton. You know, they are not of the same quality. Most of them are sticking the money they come back down with in the bank account to make sure they don't go bankrupt. You know, they're not going to be going out there and spending £20 million on strikers like they did. You know, so, and teams coming up won't be of the same quality. You know, so last year was like an anomaly. The teams coming down, the teams coming up were really good teams. Next season, it won't be as bad. It won't be as tough. It'll still be tough, but it won't be as tough. There won't be like 3 really solid teams coming down, 3 really solid teams coming up, well, what people thought. And then you've got all the others. So I think next season might be a bit easier. And we've got more time to prepare for that. We still want to go. That's not me saying, you know, we don't want to give it a go. Of course, we want to give it a go this season. We've got a perfect opportunity. Let's try. But I also say, well, what is giving it a go? You know, all we can do is do our best. And if that's not enough, then so be it. But I already think we've done, you know, we've done well better than what I ever expected. You know, I came on here and I said 8th to 12th, and I was saying that for a long, long time. I've only just recently come to the idea that we will make the playoffs. You know, but I'm happy to be wrong. I'm more than happy to be wrong if I say we make the playoffs and we get top 2. I'm delighted with that. We all want to do well, but you know, we'll just have to see what happens. But a lot of it was just like the other night. It was just unluck. It was just bad luck. It was circumstance. You know, people got ill, people got injured. You know, Sam Morsey got a suspension. There's nothing we can do about that. You know, but we still tried. We still got a point to step, and we could have won. Let's not beat around the bush. I still think we were the better side. You know, and we should have won. It was just we had a bit of bad luck on the night. But I want to give my best to everybody, and a happy New Year to everybody on Talking Town. You know, it is beneficial to people. It is not. It helps people. You know, and you meet. You know, I've met new people on here, and I did feel a lot of sympathy for Ben and Ben's family and Josh, because that would have been a big blow for him. And you know. It makes me feel that sometimes I want to try and give a bit more to help other people to make their lives feel a bit better, even though they might agree with me. You know, they can shout at me. I'm all right with that. You know what I mean? But if it makes them feel better, then I'm happy with that. But I just want to thank you all and thank everybody on Talking Town and wish you all a happy New Year, because it's been a wonderful year and we need to enjoy it.
Absolutely. And to you, my friend, have a great New Year.
Happy New Year, Dave. All the best, mate.
All the best. Great comments, great opinions in there. Always is. Yeah,
really good.
I don't know how he lives his life so reasonably balanced. Like I'm either off on the ceiling or on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I agree with everything he was saying there. I too thought we'd probably finish around 8th to 10th is probably what I thought, and would have been very happy with that. But of course, it's almost like you've had a winning lottery ticket blow towards you, and now you're trying to grab it, right? Get it? That's what the top 2 feels like to us. Look, lots of football still to go. We've given ourselves such a fantastic platform. We are going through a bit of a bad spell, albeit not losing games. Only lost to Leeds in that so far. I do think so. I do agree with Steve. I do feel like tomorrow will be difficult, only because of the Schumacher factor coming in at Stoke. He's a very good manager, and we'll probably get them playing in a style. I saw them against Birmingham. They look very good when they beat Birmingham. Birmingham hit and miss.
Birmingham look very bad though, don't they?
Yeah,
so
they hit and miss.
Can you take away from that, really? STST says maybe set up a playlist for some of Ben's appearances on Talking Town so family and friends can easily access it.
Wonderful.
I will do
on
my
YouTube. Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, I'll do my best with that.
Right. See if we can get that in the chat and we'll post it somehow. Yeah,
I'll need to put it together and find all these appearances.
Actually do it. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Take me a bit of time, as you can imagine. It's like a 3-year backlog, but
yeah. Yes.
We'll do our best. €10 from David. Appreciate that, David. Thank you very much.
All the best, team.
Nathan Cutt's been a member for 16 months. Thanks ever so much, Nathan. Appreciate that level of support.
Brilliant.
You can join him by hitting the join button on YouTube or heading to Ko-Fi, $4.99. Cancel at any point. Chase says, afternoon, Gov. Our squad depth is what you can strangle last season by the looks of it. Phil says, no, Davis, Morsey, Hurst, Burns or Broadly, 5 of our best players. Missing hearing from Phil in just a moment. Paul Smith could do the Canaries doing us a favour against Southampton tomorrow. Isn't that something, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, his job's in the balance. You've got to think, Wagner. I mean, if you go and talk Norwich City, the lads on there, the Reeve lads, it all sounds very dicey. Of course, Sod's Law dictated that they came and played very well against us and got a draw. But yeah, they might be looking at a new gaffer in January, with the window.
Instead of booing the referee at the end of the game, which can be misconstrued as booing the players, just call the referee. I'll let you guess what Hearts wants to call the referee there. Gareth Maloney, we wanted the fact to go up according to the bookies before the season kicked off. Maybe 4th favourite. I think we were.
Certainly 442 magazine had a second, I think. Yeah.
We've only lost 4 matches in 2023, haven't we?
Yeah.
It says Sharon.
Yeah,
absolutely.
League-wise, what did we lose in the league last year? 4? And we've done 3 this year. So that's 7?
Yeah,
4 in League 1 and 3 this season thus far.
Like it's been a great year regardless. Like from where it started in the fog to where it's going to be ending.
God, the fog game. God, it all felt like the balls were dropping off then, didn't they?
Yeah, Cruncher says, can we talk about less trouble in performance by Brandon Williams? Yeah, how did you see Williams' performance?
Performance from him, yeah, absolutely. I was, look, I can only judge him on his last game. He didn't play very well at all. You certainly wouldn't have thought he was a Manchester United loanee, and there was, he's had some great spells this season. I think he got the equaliser at Huddersfield, the diving header. That brilliant run he did from our half into the opponents and then scored. Which game?
Was that Hull or Preston? One of the two, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I was in corporate that day.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the old red wine brigade.
Sandwiches.
Yeah, wish I'd been in there. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But he looked a shadow of that player on Friday. Who knows? Maybe he didn't feel very well. Perhaps he weren't up for it. I just don't know. There was an element in the game where I think he had the ball, and he decided he had options to pass, and he decided to do a 360. He fell over. And QPR broke. Yeah, he certainly didn't look like the player that we've seen and applauded since he came to us. Yeah, baffling. Don't know.
Yeah. I've never known a player with so many different stories around him as well. Like he's gone back to Man United about 800 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't want him to go back to Man United because I think when he's on song, as we've seen, he's excellent.
I don't think he will. But I don't think he will. I think he's here for the season. I don't see any, particularly with injuries, the way they happen, and Harry Clark's Achilles that they're still managing.
Well, they said they were managing that, didn't they?
I don't see any world where he goes back. I don't see why they keep coming out with these outlandish. I know it's social media and everything, but
he's played European football in our defense. And he slots into our defense. Twanzabe's played European football, slots into our defense. So you want to try and keep that experience there. Certainly 2 ex-Man United players, that's for certain. But I thought Clark done well when he come on.
I think Harps has nailed it. Williams is still raging that he has to wear those Christmas jumpers. That's got to be the greatest marketing picture I've ever seen of somebody in a Christmas jumper. He looks so full of Christmas joy, right? Do you know what I mean? He looks like I look when I'm around the in-laws on Christmas Day. Like, make it end. Make it end. Please.
Oh, what did Goldbridge? I was watching him doing the Man United thing yesterday, and he said, "Oh, that just made me feel like I was getting a PlayStation 5. I've opened him a present. It's a blender."
But
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, Curate says Williams is so indecisive. It's odd. We don't know how bad the injury or the virus he had. He had one of the two, if not both. You don't know, how the extent. Marcus Harness, for example, had that injury. I know it's a much worse injury, but players take a while. These human beings to come back from things.
Exactly. Who even knows? I mean, look, we don't really know. Maybe Clark was penciled in to start the game, like Broadhead was, and then suddenly he feels something, but can sit on the bench, and Williams is suddenly slotted in. I mean, I thought Harness done great to know, because he's probably in the mindset of, I'm going to be a substitute for this game. Then suddenly he's playing. I mean, that's a huge, I think that's a huge thing to suddenly go from, I've got to get to game time within minutes, thinking you weren't going to come off until probably 70th minute, whatever it might be. Look, they're all humans, right?
Yes, yes, they are. McSwordsman sort of says what I was trying to say there. Started twice in 2 solo appearances in the last 2 months, 12 games before QPR.
Yeah.
That's quite a lengthy spell. We had a rare Sonny Aluko sighting in a league performance.
Yeah, that shows you. Aluko hasn't featured at all in the league campaign. And you could see the frustration. Actually, when I watched the highlights, he has the very last shot of the game, doesn't he? It goes into the North Stand, and you can see the frustration on his face when the final whistle goes. He's like, even though that, Sean is only in and around the squad already, and had to be used probably because needs must. You could see how much that meant to him that we hadn't won the game. Fair play to him. Do you know what I mean? He was feeling it just as much as everyone else in the stadium.
Yeah. We are also partnering with Stone Osteopaths. So if you're in need of osteopath services, physiotherapy, please do give Freddie in Stone Osteopaths a call on 01449613633. I go there myself, so I can speak glowingly about the service that you would receive by Freddie and his team. And obviously I've got a long-term disability, but I go there for that. I also go there for migraines. I go there for all sorts. Whenever I feel a pain, I'm like, right, going to go see Fred, because he normally sorts it out for me.
What do they do for migraine then? How does that work?
Oh, mate, they play around with all the nerves and the muscles in the neck.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of times I get a migraine because I've slept funny. So I've got a knot in the neck or a pinched nerve. So he manipulates it. And then I walk out like I've never had a headache in my life. It's magic.
Nice.
It's like magic moments, for what is, I mean, I pay a special rate, obviously. But what is like 52 quid? It's like magic moments. So, if you need osteopath, need physiotherapy, whether you're feeling, give Freddie a call, see if he can help. 01449613633. I've got him on speed dial at this point. Like, they know me. I go, hello, Martin. It's like, yeah, they know who I am.
You must love it for you to phone somebody to actually get it rolling.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I could book it via WhatsApp or via
you probably
email, I would, 100%.
Probably. Who am I trying to get?
That's why I like the new GP service. You ask my GP stuff. Like, you don't actually have to speak to anybody until you see a doctor now. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I don't want to tell someone, my random person, my business.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
that suits you better, I think.
Absolutely, mate. I'm all out on that one. Chris Boyd, at what point do we stop wrapping Twinzabi up in cotton wool and let him play more than one game before resting him? We know he's injury prone, but at some point we have to give him a run, surely. Yeah,
so I totally agree. Again, I'd like to know a little bit more about his program and what's planned for him. He can play right back as well, by the way. He's played there for Aston Villa. And I do believe, Ben, in one of his last appearances for us, or maybe one of his comments, he said Twinzabi had also played left side in the Man United academy. So I remember Ben saying that. So listen, Burgess is soon going to be, Burgess now goes away with Australia, doesn't he? Because I think that tournament starts on either the 13th or the 14th or maybe the week after. So he certainly ain't going to be playing in the cup game. And I don't think he's going to be around for Sunderland. So you could well see Twinzabi playing games soon. Certainly, I think you're going to see him, and could see him tomorrow. You could see him against Wimbledon. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Leeds fan calling for Farke to be sacked, apparently, says Trevor in the chat.
Hold on a minute. They would look like world beaters against us.
On their cup
try. We're not.
Town TV missed a great opportunity for some Christmas content with Twinzabi, because obviously he's the Hungry Hippo world record holder, right?
Yes.
You could have had great content of everyone in the squad challenging him to a game of Hungry Hippos. Like,
you could have done. But maybe he didn't want to lose that record. You know what I mean? He don't want to be beaten.
Oh, you mean he's like like one of these rest of the champions where he doesn't want to defend his title. So
exactly. It's much
on.
better just to walk around telling everyone you are that. I would be in that camp myself, quite frankly.
My like the Hungry Hippos finals, like a World Cup. Could have groups, seedings.
Do you have Hungry Hippo game in your house? No, we don't either. At least I don't think so. I'll have to look in the toy cupboard.
No, I don't. Got Monopoly. That always ends in tears. You know what I mean? Like,
I've never enjoyed Monopoly. I mean, it's just buying and selling real estate, isn't it? That's basically what it is, isn't it? I'm trying to avoid going to prison.
David Bergen's given 55 Talking Town memberships. Thank you very much, David. I don't know how that works or what happens from there, but appreciate that. Phil Blundell, welcome in. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I was just thinking about Ben's family and friends at this time of year. What they're going through is, very unpleasant, timing. And look, I know what it's like to lose a close relative and loved one. I lost my mum to cancer coming up on nearly 3 years now, and I'm still grieving for her. I still get moments of weakness. I still shed the odd tear here and now, and I'm still grieving for the person that I lost and I loved and I was so very close to, and it hurts. I remember nothing can prepare you for when it actually happens. It's probably one of the very few moments in any person's life that a nightmare has come to life. And it's that feeling, and nothing can prepare you for it. I lost my appetite for a whole month. I lost quite a bit of weight in the first month after my mum passed. I just went numb inside, and it's a horrible. So I know what they're going through. It's absolutely dreadful experience, and for the first time in my life, when she passed in 2021, as a grown man, I was crying myself to sleep. Yeah. And it's horrible.
You sat next to me in the pub, didn't you, Phil?
I did, yes.
You saw Colin's speech. It was great, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was heartfelt, and what this club means to the people of Ipswich. Lifelong hardcore supporters like Colin and Richard. They were both fairly emotional. In the pub on Friday, and that raw emotion. And what Game Changer 20, what Kieran McKenna and his coaching staff, what Mark Ashton has done for the community and for the fans of this, beloved football club of ours has been absolutely magnificent over the last, couple of years, and I still believe, I strongly believe in McKenna's ability. I do have faith and confidence in him, and I do have confidence that we will be playing Premier League football next year.
Fingers crossed, mate. I hope you're
Fingers
right.
Crossed. But I'm going to say that aside, I think, just talking about the game in general on Friday night, the first thing that I want to talk about is that stupid referee that we had for the Middlesbrough game in reporting Morsey for whatever he did after the game to the FA. He booked him in the very, very last minute of the game, of which I didn't see. I was at the ground. I never saw him book him.
No, I think it was in the tunnel. I think it was in the tunnel dressing room after the game, wasn't it? I'm sure I read.
No, I was told by Richard that he booked him in the last minute of play.
I think he kicked the ball away or something.
I haven't got time for petty, stupid, small man referees like that. If we'd had Morsey on the pitch on Friday night, we would have won that game. Because
but we don't know what went on, do we, Phil?
We don't. It just really annoys me. But in a nutshell, on Friday night, things just transpired against Ipswich for that game. And there's this flu bug, this virus, this whatever virus that's going around. My dad's got it right now, and he's sort of coughing and spurging away, and it's horrible. But I didn't realise that Brody was sick, in the change room before the game on Friday. But, seeing that team sheet on Friday, I thought, oh, God, this is, no Burns, no Brody, no Morsey, no Davis. I think if we had Morsey and Davis on the field on Friday night, we would have won that game. And you know what? People say about the squad depth. Yes, all right, okay. Look, we have a lot of players, including the under-21s. I think there's 26, 27 senior members of our squad. So that's not exactly a small squad.
No.
And look, yeah, Christmas is a busy time. And yes, we've had a bad Christmas period. But look, we're still 3 points ahead of the third place team.
Yeah,
okay.
Correct.
We're still averaging at least 2 points a game. And at the moment, I think this little blip that we're having has all of a sudden turned into a little bit of a wobble.
Not losing games though, Phil.
We're not losing games. Like I'm saying, we all know the teams at the top of the table do go on a dodgy run of games, and we just need to find out now in the next 2 or 3 weeks how many games is going to last for. But having thought about the players that we might have fit for tomorrow's game, McKenna has already said in his press conference, look, we're not going to have everyone back for the game tomorrow. So let's just see how we do tomorrow. We might have to, we might have to defend a little bit more than. So we're not used to defending. We're used to going on the front foot, getting the fullbacks forward and creating loads of chances. But we may not have the players to do that tomorrow. And I think tomorrow, I think on Friday night just goes to show, with the players that we missed, I'm saying we had half the first team out effectively, and looking forward to the transfer window next week. Look, we know that we're going to get players in. We just don't know who they are at the moment. Hurst is going to be a big miss for us in the next 2 to 3 months, or maybe even longer.
If not longer,
aggressively. But in the pub, me and Matt, we were in good company. Loads of us was there, and a certain person was giving us a few names to look forward to, which cheered me up, because I think if we do get those 3 players in, we're gonna be looking forward to the next 5 months with points galore.
I've got a counter argument to your referee from
Yeah.
A in the chat. He says Morsey is experienced. He should have let it go. The ref was never going to undo the booking. The stupidity of Morsey probably cost us more on Friday.
Yeah, I'll go along with that. But look, Gov, safe to say that I'm sitting on both sides of the fence. I was a referee for 8 years. All right, okay, it's not the same level. It's not the same atmosphere.
Hey, ref's the ref, mate.
Okay, right, but there is only one loaf, Laws of Association Football, in existence.
Loaf, yeah.
And
Check Phil out with the loaf.
I remember that now. The loaf, yeah. I remember that.
They're not rules. People easily forget that they're not rules of the game. They are laws. And if the players and coaching staff, if they break the laws of the game, they will be punished with an infringement, maybe even cautioned or sent off. That's the way it works. But look, okay, yes, I agree. Absolutely. He's absolutely correct in what he's saying. But for me, he was booked in the very last minute of the game for a silly little thing, right? Okay. And I don't like referees like that. He should have said, look, if the referee was going to be like that, he probably should have sent him off, within the playing time. And I don't like referees like that, okay? Because, it tells me that this referee that we had, even though he refereed Ipswich, may have some kind of thing going on where he doesn't like Ipswich. I'm saying that's the vibe that I get, and I don't like referees like that. I'm sorry, but I just don't. That's my opinion.
I think I've got a new nickname for you now, Phil. Loaf.
What's that? Loaf. No, don't start that. That's
Laws of Association Football. That was hidden in my mind, and then you've brought it back to the fore.
You never heard that, mine? You've not heard that before?
I've heard of it. It's just one of those things you store away.
Yeah.
Bury it in a vault. And then
the other thing that many football fans get blatantly wrong is that they call the ball round. The ball is not round. It's spherical. It says that. Actually says that in the logo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's spherical, not round. But anyway, look, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, and looking forward to tomorrow's game. I'm a bit concerned about it. If we don't win, then let's not make sure that we don't lose. But Friday night's game, we got a clean sheet. That's the positive that we got from the game. When was the last time we had a clean sheet at home? I think it was against Hull, wasn't it? Against Hull?
Yeah, Millwall. Oh no, Millwall's 3-1, wasn't it? Yeah, you might be right. Yeah,
and we should have had a clean sheet against Coventry, but hey ho.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else, Phil, before I let you go? Is there one more thing today, or is that it? Have you spent it?
Look, yes, there is one more thing, and I just want to talk about our nearest rivals quickly. Look, Southampton, they're not going to go unbeaten in the next 17 games. They're going to drop points. And, Leicester is going to drop points because they'll lose at least, 4 or 5 players of their own. That's
Yeah, but
they lose four. They lose 4 to the African Cup, Phil, and Harry Suter goes to the Asians. So, yeah, 5.
Right, so that's 5. Okay, so my prediction will be in January and February they will drop points. Okay, they've got what, an 8-point lead on us?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
An 8 point. It won't be 8 points come the end of January. I don't think that's my prediction. I think come February, I don't think their lead at the top will be 8 points. I think it'll be less than that. As far as I'm concerned. And let's just hope that we've got 2 or 3. I'm not having that, Cruncher. Look, I've said my opinion, and I'm saying I'm not going to change my opinion, and that's it. Okay.
Good man.
Right. Okay. Look, and also just one other thing. I was so bored. I was so bored. Yesterday, I went to see Bowers and Pitsy play Felixstowe Walton United, and I forgot that Bowers and Pitsy have the same home kit as Felixstowe United. So when they scored, I cheered stupidly, admittedly, embarrassing, stupid idiot that I am.
You're cheering the wrong team, Phil.
I was cheering the wrong team, but both teams ended the game with 10 men.
Wow.
Yeah. I think Bowers had a man sent off just for half time, and Felixstowe's a centre half picked up a second yellow after.
Was that Felixstowe or Bowers?
Bowers. So they've got a nice ground. It's a nice
Stadium.
3G pitch with 4 or 5 stand. Yeah, that's a nice ground. It's right at the back of a housing estate.
It's where hashtag play.
Yeah, they got relegated from I think the Premier Division last season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my one more thing.
The Len Salmon Stadium, but no one's ever who's played there or refereed there has never been able to tell me who Len Salmon is. I'd love to know.
I don't know.
A big figure in Bowers, no doubt.
I've refereed at Portman Road. I've refereed on the Portman Road pitch, which was a nice experience many years ago, but I enjoyed it.
There you go, Phil. Brilliant.
Cheers, Phil. We appreciate you coming
on. Phil. Yeah.
See you soon.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you, Phil. Yeah, it's been a great 2023, really. In all different ways.
It's been a great year for our football club. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you think to that the final third of that season in League One, where we scored an absolute hatful of goals, rolling teams over 3-4. Loved it. The promotion, so close to getting 100 points, 100 goals. We would have done it as well if that harness goal had not been disallowed against Barnsley, but it was taking
it is what it is.
Taking records aside, getting promoted was what was important. Fair play to Plymouth, they pipped us. And look how we've taken a duck to water in the Championship. And even though we're going through, like Phil said, having a little bit of a blip, we're not actually losing games. Only leads in the first half of the season have given us a tonking. It's been fantastic. I just hope that we could carry it on. We've got a great manager in charge, everybody. I took somebody over on McKenna. We have got a really good manager in charge. Yeah. I was thinking here, I've got my cup here again today, if you're listening, with all the greats. Bobby's on there, John Lyle, Alf, George is on there. I call that the Mount Rushmore of Ipswich Town managers. McKenna's going to be on there as well. He's going to make it 5.
Yeah. Ace said, if we don't finish second, I prefer it to be Leeds. I think we have a better chance in the playoffs versus Southampton. I mean, we've still got to play Southampton at home. So
Colin was telling me yesterday, that's not till Easter Monday. That's a mad one, isn't it? Because we played right at the start of the season, and then got this huge gap, and then we're playing Leicester within about 3 weeks. But look, it's a long time. I mean, a week is a long time in football. It's shown this week where we've gone from all our impact players being lost against QPR, and we've had to make 8 changes. So you just don't know from one week to the next. But hopefully, new signings coming in, and we will say, as we spoke at the top of the show, the evolution of Ipswich Town as we look to hopefully get into the top, stay in the top 2.
This is it. This is it. And my gut just tells me Southampton can't keep this run of form going. It's almost Herculean. It's ridiculous.
They've got decent, but they looked at that. I thought they looked a decent side when we played them. They just weren't for whatever reason.
They're a decent team, but for the record, I mean, they've broken a historic record here. How much they can't keep it up.
To keep that up, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we said the same thing, didn't we? We beat Stoke on the opening day of the season. It was electric. I was thinking, bloody hell, the pace we've played at. How are we going to keep it up? And at some point, it does come back, and because the season is 46 games. It's ups and downs, and it does come back and get you at some point, because we've seen it this week: illness, injury, suspension, and it's very difficult to keep that up. I mean, look, fair play to Southampton. If they finish second at the end of the day ahead of us, They would have deserved it. Anyone who finishes above you after almost 50 games of football is there for a reason. But at the moment, we are in a great place. And we've given ourselves, like I said earlier, if we do drop down to third, we're still contenders. And we've got an opportunity to reset in January, hopefully with some new signings and a bit of wedge spent. We're not used to that, Portman Road. Get the millions out.
Get the checkbook out. David's gifted a load of memberships in the chat. Thank you, David, for your generosity. If you've received a free membership from David, you will now have access to our Discord channel 24/7 365. The link is in the community tab after this show. So head there, click it, sign yourselves up. If you weren't the lucky one that got one of David's free memberships, you can support us by hitting join on YouTube or heading to Ko-Fi. Both are $4.99. Cancel at any point. I think YouTube's got 2 tiers you can choose. You can cancel at any point, and of course, you get access to the Discord the same way those ones that have received free membership. So, David, thank you for your generosity.
And if you don't want to do any of those, just give us a subscribe on the channel because it helps.
Absolutely, it does. Stephen Parry says, "Get in the Discord. It's a giggle." There we go. I don't know. I don't go in there. I don't dare. It's almost like the inmates run the asylum sort of vibe, you know.
Someone did. I think Lewis was in there, and he said, "Is there going to be a show tonight with Simone?" Suddenly, your bat phone went off. It'll be tomorrow at 1:30.
yeah, it went off. But it is a good laugh from what I hear. But we are done for today. Thank you for tuning into our last show of 2023. Thank you for joining us on this journey since day one, but certainly through 2023. Let's see what 2024 brings. Let's see what 2024 brings to the party. But we're live tomorrow after the game against Stoke, live again on Wednesday. Sharon says, thanks for the fab show this afternoon. Lots of standards, but remember the sorrow we feel when we lose a loved one is the price we pay for having had them in our lives. Thank you for the comment there, Sharon. Thanks for the comments, the views, the subscriptions, the support. We're back in 2024, but that man there is the Del Monte man. Thank you to all the contributors near and far that have done the shows with me throughout 2023. Here's to 2024. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.